Welcome back to CTM Studio. I'm Aida Baghernejad, music journalist and your host through the vastness that is CTM 2021. Today in our little studio, I'm really pleased to welcome Lucas Gutierrez. And he is a Berlin-based digital artist and industrial designer from Argentina. And we're all massive fans of his. And we're very delighted that he's also part of CTM 2021. So Lucas, thanks for zooming in through the cyberspace into our cute little studio.
Yeah,
Hi.
Thanks for the invite. I'm happy to talk about the project and share some details about it.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear more. But first of all, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm pretty much immersed into calls and Zooms and emails as everyone, but it's also part of the development of this new edition. So I'm fine. I really enjoy this process and at the same time learning a lot, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
I guess we're all learning a lot in these times. And funny you would say, being immersed in calls and Zoom talks, etc. I think all of our lives have moved so much more into the digital world than they had already before. As a digital artist, how did that development impact your work? Has it become even more digital, or did you feel like, oh, the world is catching up to me now?
It's very mixed feelings, to me. I think I'm not representing the whole digital bubble and how I'm thinking about it. What I could take is for my role is technically the tools are changing drastically since May last year. So also the way that I'm working, it's been affected by that. And I guess the results and the outputs that we have within these new mediums are changing. So my work and my pieces, of course, are mutating at the same time, and they are being transformed in something different. And this is the project that probably reflects this transformation of my skills, my approach, and my vision to spaces and how we can gather together in a collective digital experience. Catching up the wave is a bit different for everyone, I guess. But we're all probably following the technological bubble speed of things. Yeah, and I'm very curious all the time.
Funny you would mention the word transformation, because that's basically the motto, our key word for this edition of CTM. And you've not only designed our virtual environment Cyberia, but also present two artworks in the digital exhibition. Can you tell us a little bit about these works for CTM and the process that you just mentioned?
Yeah, these two artworks were born in completely different environment, let's say. One is the full dome piece, which was initially planned for arts and planetariums, and the collective experience was physical and inside the building. And now it's being represented in a virtual dome together with other artists as well, Florence To and Alba Corral. And we are now sharing this virtual collective experience under the umbrella of Cyberia. So that technically take another perspective, another dimension, not only because the medium, just because the user literally can move around the piece. And initially it was thought that basically you just sit, you choose your seat, and basically it's all about your viewpoint. In this new representation, you can literally fly around that, and you can get closer to the image, and you can get a different perspective through the piece. So I'm very curious about how the people, or even how I will rediscover a new perspective to this artwork. And the other piece is together with a sound artist, Berlin artist Robert Lippock, which we are lately collaborating a lot, and also moving through this level of transformation, as you mentioned in the beginning. Like, we are moving through different platforms and trying to stretch and stress some of the projects that we have, to see if they really can handle different mediums, and we can keep the visions to that tools. And this project is called Spin, and you will visit it within the. It was only born in a virtual environment, and we are initiating the project in a virtual environment. Let's say a space where you can move around, and there is some kinetic sounds moving through the sculpture. Maybe I can show you this later in the call.
Yeah.
And those sounds are field recording, and we are literally leave space for them to collapse on this procedural movement. So basically you have chaos, nature, technology, all the concepts that we are trying to bring are literally collapsing and blending endless, basically. And you are in the middle, and this sound is rotating and spinning in your head or in your view, and so on. And I was in charge of the sculpture, the visual elements, and Robert was related to the sound aspect of the piece.
Sounds definitely wild, and I can't wait to see it. But can you give us a little glimpse maybe into Cyberia and into the works you created?
Yeah, sure. Let me share maybe the screen. Can I do it, right? Yeah.
Please do.
Okay, I will share my screen right now. I will activate some of the audios, and just for those who are interested, the project is fully created in Unity, and Unity 3D is probably one of the most common engines for game developers and apps, and this is pretty much the backstage of the project. And so we do also have functionalities that in this demo will not be represented, that like log in, people will choose an avatar, and we'll have a chat function, and all the collective virtual features that we are planning for this release. So
there's far more to discover when we actually dive into it ourselves.
Exactly. We are just going to jump into the space. I'm going to show you probably some of the controls that we are thinking about to use.
Please.
And also probably like the map that we can get to discover into that. I will just full screen that, and maybe we just talk on the way, right?
Great. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Then
take us on a trip to Cyberia.
Sure. And so we just put the music right now. All the soundtrack and is made by an artist together. We work together on the space and sound development. And let's keep it. So you start in the air and slowly falling down into the Cyberia space.
Wow.
So all the functionalities and let's say the way that you can control the avatar, it's pretty intuitive. You just move your mouse cursor and you rotate the camera, and then you can use the key just to move in space. That's basically all you need to start discovering the area, the space.
Well, and this looks great.
So we've been talking about like how we can give some alternatives to the skins, to the avatars. So we design some avatars like translucent, thin. You definitely can experience that. But I will just leave I will just stop talking a little bit. Maybe we can listen and dive for a few seconds.
Just take us on the trip into this crazy space.
Okay. We are now approaching to the streaming hall, but there is some interactive objects that people will be able to move and interact with others. So these elements there's two elements that people can collect and discover some bonus at the end of the visit. And
so it's basically gamified.
Yeah, we use some basic elements of gamification, so you can definitely keep discovering and also like connect with others in space. The streaming hall, it's basically where we're gonna gather all the content that you are actually recording also in the studio.
Okay.
All the CI and amazing work for Marius from the CTM 𝘾𝙔𝘽𝙀𝙍𝙍 this year are being represented by translucent windows on the building. And maybe I can show you a little bit more how the people will get to know the artists involved in the space, and maybe jump into the next scene or the next artwork where you can discover a little bit more. So all over the space you will start to discover some of the portals. Each portal we provide the frame for the portals, and artists took over by dressing and modifying the skins of it. For example, this is Pussy Crew portal, which is linked to a game, online game that they are developing right now, and will be available during the festival.
This is absolutely all fascinating. Thank you so much for giving us a little insight into Cyberia. It's got this very distinct aesthetics, very glitchy, somehow like also very now. How did you develop this very specific aesthetics?
Well, we have a sort of let's say the project will be displayed in 3 different platforms, right? So most of them are having let's say the style and the look is pretty much in my research through maybe errors and mistakes of surface and stuff like that. I cannot really. I mean, I could be a little bit more precise in the terms that I'm using, but let's say there is some common glitches and data mesh effects that you can that they are natively born in virtual environments. So in this case, I try to represent it in some aspects. For example, in some parts of the building, like here, for example, or we are just approaching the garden. For example, there's some glitches on the grass. And
since we can't hang out in the Baghernejad garden this year, I guess this is a good replacement.
Then, so there is I would say there is a core element behind the aesthetics of Cyberia that reminds to what virtual environments are facing technologically right now. Like a lot of not technical problem as they are. It's basically like crispy edges, pixel mistakes, and all what you can discover. For example, here, like this is a lot of spaces that you can discover in Cyberia which are full of glitch and problems of the mesh that we are creating, but they definitely bring out a different perspective of the space, and so you can discover effects and go through the space pretty much.
Wow.
Wild. This is the dome that I was mentioning. And so, yeah, there's a Salva de Corral piece. And as you can see, I mean, we really want to, we thought that virtual events have, I mean, they have to be framed in somehow, but giving the possibility to the visitor just to go wherever they want, I think will make the things a little bit more radical, more intuitive, and of course they will discover things that probably we haven't seen it yet, and like the same error that we've been just talking about.
This looks amazing. I can't wait to explore it on my own. And thank you for giving us such a great insight into this worlds you have created together with many great and amazing collaborators. Thank you so much, Lucas, and I can't wait to meet you in Cyberia.
Yeah, sure. We're gonna see you there.
Speak soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.